Hit here, bet that up, boy. I'm about to go holler at him. Hey, yo, Red, what's happening, Red? Who is you? Who is me?
Okay, good. I felt like I needed another intro, but how are you, my brother? You look much better.
I'm good. You look good. I look good. If the people can hear us, listen, it's a visual audio medium. Shayla PC say we clear. That's what I need. I need a thumbs up. It's a visual and audio medium. At the end of the day, we're going to drop some knowledge. If you can hear us, then we good. You know what I'm saying? We're going to make the best of it. We black people, we always make the best with what we got.
If Shayla P says it's good, it's good.
Yo, Shayla, I want my own bobblehead. I'm jealous now. Kenny got the bobbleheads over there. You got Barack. Who is that? Who is?
This is my invitation. This is my invitation to my 35th at the Versace Mansion.
Oh yeah, the one in Miami. Yeah. So that's you. That's your bobblehead. Yeah. I want my own bobblehead. Let it go, baby. Let it go. That's grown man style. Grown man, yes, clean head. Clean head, clean heart. Let's go.
What I wanted to tell, first of all, big shout out to FAMU and all my HBCUs that are logged in. If you went to a HBCU, please represent in the comments now.
Let us know.
We have some rattlers in here. My brother Will is a rattler.
Already. You got a couple snakes in the comments if y'all in here. What up, ETZ?
Yeah, so I have an unpleasant memory though, Will, that I want to start off with about FAMU.
Uh-oh. Why are you starting with the negative? KB, why we don't put the bobblehead in the screen? Why you coming for my school? Hey, what happened? I gotta hear this.
Will, and this is clearly since we've been out of college, way after.
Okay.
But you invited me to come to FAMU along with D Nice. You actually gave us a ride on your private jet home that night, and we were down there supporting the circuit.
Yes, okay. I'm sorry. I know where you're going with this. I know where you're going. Yes.
Will, what the fuck happened, bro? We were just about to usher this man into the governor, and then oh my God, have you spoke to him? Is he okay?
I send all love and blessings to my brother. I've checked in with the family. Listen, he's talking about Andrew Gillum. And Andrew Gillum, got caught up in some craziness down there. He has come out. He's apologized. He's getting his life together. And here's the thing: when you love somebody and somebody's your brother, they make a mistake. You don't throw the whole family member away. You just don't. Acknowledge what they did wrong. They got to acknowledge what they did wrong. You don't excuse it, and you don't act like it didn't happen. But you don't throw them away. And so I'm never gonna throw my brother away. And I'm definitely, praying for him. I want everybody else to keep him in his prayers. And, I pray that his comeback is real.
Absolutely. And I want to start off by congratulating you and Heather, man. This Club Packer thing y'all got going on Friday nights, man. I feel like you're sneaky. I feel like you're so sneaky because I never knew you could DJ. And if people are really listening, you're really DJing.
It started at FAMU, man. I was DJ Willpower. I was on the radio.
Wow.
My lead-in was Rashawn Ali. Shout out to all my folks that know Rashawn Ali, ATL Radio, Sister Circle. And
love her.
Absolutely. And so, yeah, Friday nights. Here's the thing. Like, Noble, honestly, my wife and I, we cut up. That's what we do.
Yeah.
I work hard, but we play hard, KB. And we family. Just like you and Jess, we play hard. So I absolutely have a little club situation in my basement. I ain't gonna front on that.
Yeah.
And we will get in at our age. I just can't see what you do still in with the club life, and you don't do as much anymore. But I got respect for it. I can't do it, man. I'm too old. I need a good day party. I need a good party that ends at 12. I can't be getting ready to go nowhere at 12. I'm grown now. So we come down to the basement. I get on and mess with my turntables. The drinks are free and they good. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got to do the club thing. So I'm all about a house party at my age. And so I got the perfect house party situation. at the crib, and I said, bump it. Let's just go on live and do what we do. So yeah, shout out to everybody that rock with us. It's usually on Friday nights. I don't know if we're gonna do this Friday, but we're gonna definitely be back.
Yeah.
You know.
You can't listen, you can't start and stop during the quarantine now, Will. You gotta keep that thing up, champ. Well,
here's how you know I'm not a real DJ, because I don't have
right.
I be taking
Put your
off.
Cash App in the comments. Put your Cash App in the comments. But I want to start here, man. I love your journey. I've damn near known you the entire time, besides when you were at FAM. But it all started at FAMU, man. I mean, I think you did your first film, Chocolate City, at FAM. Tell me about how historically Black colleges played a part and universities played a part in your journey. Yeah.
There is no question that my foundation came from my journey to an HBCU. I did not want to go to an HBCU. I wanted to go to an Ivy League school. I had the grades and the credentials to get in, and I thought that's where I needed to be. I didn't want to go to a school with all Black people. I didn't want to go to a school with people who I felt like, you know, they couldn't get into the Ivies. I could get into the Ivies. I need to be on that level. That was my mentality at the time. Boy, It was a wake-up call. It was a wake-up call, and HBCUs don't get the credit they deserve. We graduate more Black doctors and engineers and pharmacists and everything, lawyers, than any other institution. And of course, historically, come on for BO and MO, my people. Historically, you know, we couldn't get into those other institutions. And so these were the institutions that nurtured us and trained us and worked with us. The reality is that without that HBCU foundation, brother, I would not be where I am today. I don't know where I would be. I know me. I feel like I would be successful in some way, but I wouldn't be who I am right now, brother. So I love it. I love it.
I feel like you would have to. I feel like that there's a certain level of commitment in your spirit that wouldn't allow you. But you went from Power Packer to DJ, I'm sorry, Will Power the DJ to film. So how did you get into like Chocolate City mode while you were in college? Because Chocolate City clearly gave you the bug that you never stopped having.
Yeah, no, there's no question, man. Without a doubt, it was my partner, Rob Hardy. My line brother, my partner, still one of my best friends to this day. He had the dream to be a filmmaker. He wanted to be a director. And I
big shout out
him.
to Rob Hardy.
Shout out to Rollo. I helped him make his first movie. And there were, you know, a group of us actually that worked on that. You know, Jason Carter, you know, Jay Carter here in Atlanta.
Jay Carter.
Jay Carter was in there. Kelsey Scott was in there. It was a good group. And ultimately, it ended up being just Rob and I. We made our little movie, Chocolate City, and everybody at FAM that was in our crew helped us to do it. And so a lot of times I tell people, don't worry about whether or not you got the access and the power and if the people, you know, are with the blue checks are calling you back and endorsing your idea. Forget that. What do you have right now that you can make? So we made what we could with our little bit of resources and money that we could get our hands on, and then built it from there. And ultimately, Rob and I were the ones that said, we're going to do this full time. We're going to move to Atlanta. New York and LA felt too big, felt like big ponds. We'd be small fish. We moved to Atlanta and got the film career started. That's really how it started. I was following Rob and helping him chase his dream, and mine was born along with his.
I love it. And I don't think people really realize that sometimes, Will. I think a lot of our mentees get that game from us now that we're older, but it's really about putting one foot in front of the other. I think a lot of times we think we have a certain goal and or dream, like yours initially was to go to an Ivy League, and you went to a HBCU, which led you to film and being the biggest Black producer in Hollywood today. But I think that's a testament to you know, Will, no pun intended. You know what I mean? Following your gut, following your, you know, your dreams, and ultimately it might not be the dream you intended it to be, but it'll be the dream nonetheless.
And the dream that you're supposed to have. And start with what you got. Don't wait. That's my biggest advice to people, man. And so many people like, boy, once I get my hands on my first million, or once, you know, Kenny Burns or Will Packer call me back, or once I get that distribution deal, you know? No, man, no. It is about what do you have you can get your hands on now? You know what I'm saying? I see my dog Jig in the comments. That's right. It's willpower. It really is. Like, set up, like, too many times we're playing for other people's expectations, other people's definition of success. Create your own definition of success and go for it. Go for that. Go for where you at right now, what you got. Nothing is stopping you. If you think other people are stopping you, you're thinking about it wrong. If you think you don't have enough money in your pocket, you don't have enough people saying yes to you and giving you deals and giving you what you need to chase your dream, you're thinking about this thing all wrong. That ain't gonna never
That's
happen.
right.
You go
That's
out
right.
and prove yourself. The only reason Hollywood had wanted anything to do with me is because I went out and I made money without them. That's when my phone started ringing. When I did it on my own. If I didn't, I'd still be knocking on their doors.
That's the true testament of an entrepreneur as well. I think a lot of times we want people just to see our talent, want people just to recognize us. No, sometimes you got to show them why they need to be in business with you. And I want to talk about the year 2000. Rainforest Films comes to an existence, and you release Toi.
What you know about Toi, Kenny?
I was calling it Trios forever. I was like, the movie Trios. Did you see the movie Trios?
All my people, all my black people call it Trios. And it was like, what? Like, no, French. The French word for three.
Yeah, you were too creative. No one was hip then. You know what I'm saying? You went French on us. So we was like, Trios. I mean, Toi.
Toi.
But that was your entry. That was the beginning of Rainforest Films. Talk about that a little bit, because you did that independently. Well, is correct? You did it independently.
Oh yeah. Okay. I was completely independent at the start of my career. A lot of people, you know, I get a lot of support, and I got a lot of fancy movie posters on the wall of big movies that you've heard of.
Congratulations, you're a legend.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it, and I received that. But well before that, it was about how do I put two pennies together to be able to afford to rent the camera for a couple of days to shoot the scene. It was all about the independent film hustle and grind. So yes, Toi was a movie that was put together with independent investors. We took it out to Hollywood to get distribution. We could not get distribution. Everybody said no. Nobody wanted anything to do with us. Then we went and we raised a little bit more money to independently distribute it. Then we took it out ourselves. And here's the real story. Here's the Will Packer story, right? We drove city to city. I had a Ford Excursion that we rented. They don't even make them no more. The biggest, most joint. The gas guzzler, right? This was right around the time when you had cats like Master P who were selling albums and going platinum out of the trunks of their cars. At least that was the urban legend. They would make a lot of money selling it. So we took a Ford Excursion and we put a wrap on it, right? Not a real wrap like you see the professionals. We just basically stuck posters in the windows, KB. Right. And we drove. We convinced 19 theaters to show Toi, to play our little movie. And we drove to every city that agreed to play it. I still remember to this day every city, because we drove to every one. We drive to a city. We would stay in a Motel 6, Holiday Inn, whatever we could afford. Go to the radio station, beg them to let us on for a couple minutes so we give away tickets to our movie. We pass out flyers at the clubs, anything to get the word out. We went from Atlanta to Birmingham, to Jackson, Mississippi, to Memphis, Tennessee, Charlotte, North Carolina, Raleigh, Durham, Jacksonville, Florida. Like all these towns, we weren't in New York and LA. We went to towns primarily in the Southeast because that's where our audience was. That's where our demographic was. And we drove to every single city, handed out flyers in every single city, got on the radio by hook or crook, however we could get on in every single city. We couldn't afford ads. We couldn't afford billboards, none of that. It was just a hustle. And that's how we got Toi to ultimately make $1 million in the theaters. From that hustle, that grind, driving to city to city to city. At the end of the day, it's about what are you willing to do? Are you willing to do what somebody else isn't to chase your dream? You know what I mean? I'm not talking about anything that compromises you or anything that hurts anybody else. But are you willing to put the work in, period, to do what it takes to chase your dream? There was nothing that was going to stop me. No, like you telling me all I got to do is drive from here to Miami, to Tampa, and back up to, you know what I'm saying, to Cleveland. We drove to Cleveland. Like, that's all I got to do? Where the car at? Where the keys?
I'm out.
I'll go borrow the gas money. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the thing. And your dream is there. The barriers in front of you and your dream, a lot of times we think they're insurmountable, but you're making them insurmountable. You're saying like, all right, I ain't willing to do that. It's what you're willing to do. I was willing to get out there, man. I said, I got to have it.
I think that, you know, I always tell my mentees, your dream is tied to your journey. The success and the feeling of accomplishing said dream, you have to appreciate that journey. If you're not appreciating those excursion rides, city to city, you know what I'm saying, like painting your excursion with the posters and going to these cities. And I really think that's probably where you sharpen your tool, which is your mouthpiece, pause, because you literally, like, every film I've ever heard you introduce, you've gotten up there, you've gone to every radio station, you've gone to every television network, every blog, anybody that would have you, and you'd evangelize about the product. But I want to say this, starting with that Twa, you had 5 #1 movies with Rainforest. You had Stomp in the Yard, you had Obsessed, Takers, Think Like a Man, and Ride Along. So that Chicago, Cleveland, Florida run, that paid off.
Yeah. That's what it takes, dog. You said it. That was the 5th one with Rainforest was Think Like a Man 2. Ride Along was my first one that I did with Will Packer Productions.
Oh, Will Packer Productions.
But, okay. Yeah, but it's all, listen, it's all me and it's all the fam and it's all the crew. But you're right. It was, and you know what it was? In order to get my movies played and get attention at FAMU, I had to stand up and get people who were on their way to something else more important to come see our movie. Yo, I'm on campus. Like, hey, what's up, brother? What you about to do? Hey, what's up, mama? How you doing, little lady? What you doing? Come check this out real quick. Come see this movie. We showing it at the blah, blah, blah theater. Tickets are $2. Like, come on. Like, that's what it took. And that hand-to-hand combat is what I then took even when I had a studio behind me. I was like, I'm not going to trust y'all to just go put marketing behind it and I sit back and watch. I was used to hand-to-hand combat. I was used to getting out, touching people, and I still do that to this day. I still go city to city with my cast, have them pop up in front of theaters. We start like popping up how cast and stuff pop up. We started that with Think Like a Man. You would be very hard pressed to find cast members who would pop up at showings opening weekend
everywhere
before Think Like a Man. Think Like a Man was one of the first ones to do it. I called Kev Hart. I was like, yo, let's do this. He was like, I'm in. We called all the other casts and everybody had different theaters that they would hit. And we started doing it from that point forward. And it means all the difference in the world when you can go out and touch people, man. You know?
Yeah. I think, man, you know, it's beautiful. Like when we were growing up, we had the Nia Longs, the Lorenz Tates, and we had like the Morris Chestnuts, and we had all these pieces. You know, the directors would have like their favorite actors. And I love the nucleus you put together in 2 movies in particular. Think Like a Man and Girls Trip. Think Like a Man seemed like every one of my partners' lives, you know, including my own. And it just was such an organic kind of feel, right? Some are married, some aren't. You got the dude who wife runs his life. You got all. It was so spot on. But talk about Think Like a Man for a minute, because I think that franchise isn't over personally. But how do you feel about that?
I listen, man. That is definitely one of my favorite movies I ever made, and without a doubt, one of the most fun movies to be a part of. That Think Like a Man crew. I mean, we all still, you know, on the group text. We all still talk and support each other's projects. You know what I'm saying? And it's crazy to think. Remember, back then we first did Think. You know, Kevin wasn't Kevin, right? Terrence J. It was his first. He was 106 Terrence J. only. His first one.
Yeah.
Was Gab with D at that time? I don't remember.
I think they might have been dating.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I know Shayla will correct me in the comments, but everybody was at a different place in their careers, and to look at everybody still flourishing, still doing well, it was a family, man. I still think. Listen, I will be very honest. Like, I have movies that are like I love some more than others. You know what I'm saying? And that's just what it is. That's one of my favorites. Like, you could not F with Think Like a Man. That's on you. I F with it. That's one of my favorite.
That's
movies,
one of the best movies. That's one of the best movies ever. But then in 2017, you put out.
I think that cast was epic, dog. I think that cast. I ride with that cast. But go ahead.
Yeah, we need a third installment of that. But then you went in 2017, Will, and did Girls Trip. It was not only the biggest comedy of that year. I think it's the first time a film was written, directed, produced, and starred African Americans to gross over $100 million. I mean, give them a round of applause in the comments, please. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I'm proud of that. Yeah, first time in history. And by the way, I think you'll see it happen again, but to have that Black people at every level in control calling the shots, you just don't see that very often. So I think it'll happen again. I hope it'll happen again, but it's not very often. You know what I mean? Because we usually don't have that much control, honestly. And with Girls Trip, we had it. Obviously the cast, you know, I came in to produce it. Me and my partner, James Lopez. You're talking about Malcolm Lee coming off Best Man. You know what I mean? Then we had brought in Kenya Barris and Tracy Oliver to write it. Usually, you got a white person that'll sneak in there somewhere. One of my good white friends in the industry will sneak in there somewhere along the way. The fact that we kept it all melanin, the fact that it was chocolate through and through, that's what makes that unheard of. I'm proud of that one too, dog.
I want to say this though, and I know, like, I know you, and I know you've been, apprehensive about sequels, even the time length in between, if you were to do a original and a sequel. I talked to Tiffany Haddish on the show, man. She came on the Kenny Burns show a couple weeks back, man. And
what Tiff say?
Tiff was just saying, man, like, that's one of the best experiences of her life. Not only was it a breakthrough movie for her, but she just said, having looked at Queen Latifah and Jada Pinkett and like everybody that was involved in one time for my girl Regina Hall. I mean, Jesus Christ, one of the greatest comedic actresses in the history of the world. But she said that unit. And I got a Regina Hall question for you after this, but Tiffany Haddish said that unit. She said she got emotional on the show. She was damn near about to cry thinking about part 2. So are you gonna do it?
We are gonna do it. We gotta do it. It's not. I mean, I'm not standing in the way of it. Make no mistake. Here's the thing. The only thing I would say is that it's gotta be right, which everybody would agree with, right? It's gotta be right. We gotta have. The only thing worse than not ever doing a Girls Trip 2 is to do Girls Trip 2 and do it wrong and not do the first one justice.
But Will, how could you
very
do that
easily
wrong? How could you
a lot of ways. The first one was so good. Listen, it's got to be the right story.
I talked to Kenya Barris. I talked to Kenya Barris on the show. He's down. The other girl, he said, is down.
He is down. He's down in Tracy. Everybody's down. But that doesn't mean that we've got it all figured out yet. Okay, so I'm not standing in the way of it, but what I am doing is holding us to a very, very high standard of excellence. We're going to do it, but it's got to be right, because I'm telling you, KB, I get asked about that sequel. It's weird. It's 2 movies I get asked about sequels with. Girls Trip, which I totally get, and Takers, which is, I know people like the movie, it's a cult classic, but everybody died in Takers, so that's different. But,
listen.
What?
We need more movies like Takers, because let me tell you something. I wasn't even going to talk about it.
But it's hard, Kenny. Listen, it's not just, here's the thing. The reason I've been successful is because I'm very deliberate in my career. I'm very specific. You know that, right? I'm very specific about the stuff that I do, put my name on. Like, if something like a Takers, a Girls Trip, you got a brand, right? It's hard to meet the expectations of that. I'm not afraid of it. I'm willing to do it, but I got to hold us to a very high standard.
But I'm saying this, Will, you put together a team of actors in Takers, bro.
Yeah.
Listen to me, bro. That was so special. I mean, Idris murdered it. Tip killed every part. I forgot the white boy's
Paul
name.
Walker, God bless the dead. You had a couple white boys. Paul Walker, Hayden Christensen. Hayden. Matt Dillon was also in that joint, played the cop. Yep. No, it was. If y'all haven't seen Takers, go back and look at Takers. Takers, if you haven't seen it in a while, it still holds up. I watched it the other day.
It's quarantine. Go watch it today.
Yeah, it is. What up, Roland Martin? Takers still holds up. What up, Aaron Simone? I'm sorry. I see all the family in the comments. I'm trying to.
Got to shout the family out. Now, I want to bring up Regina Hall. I had Kevin Hart on the show.
One of the best to ever do it, period.
Yeah, call Regina. Tell her I need her ASAP on the show. But I had Kevin Hart on the show.
Here's why it's going to be hard to get Regina. Regina don't like to put on makeup or do her hair. So
that's
if you want her to do...
her without we love her without makeup.
You don't understand what I'm telling you.
The was hilarious.
It's hilarious. She is the best. She is the best. You don't know how many times I'd be like, yo, Regina, let's go do this little thing or go, do a pop-up, do a thing. She'd be like, do I have to get dressed? I'm like, well, I mean, you are representing the movie. You are Regina Hall. Listen, Regina will roll around in sweats and a T-shirt at all times. She is the homegirl of all homegirls. She is the coolest, most down-to-earth. So I'm going to definitely hit her. I bet she would do it, but she's going to say, do I have to do anything other than wake up and turn on my phone? And I'm
just get the booger. Get the boogers out your eyes and the
She ain't
crust
gonna do
out the
that.
side of your mouth.
No, listen, let me tell you, Regina is listen, then she's out. That's too much work that you just asked her to do. She don't do all that.
Right.
She is
Well,
as
you
natural as it
tell
gets.
her I'm looking for her, and we'll go
I
from
will.
there. But
She's the
I want to
best.
say I want to say
Underrated too.
this. No, biggest, most underrated, and she's a comedic genius as far as acting is concerned. So, but I want to say this. I was talking to Kevin Hart, and those two together might be one of the most dynamic comedic actors in a pairing. They are fucking hilarious. Please tell me you're working on something with them, please.
We absolutely are. And he gave you a hint on the show. He told you that he was working on something. Yeah, absolutely. Listen, did you ever see About Last Night? Did you ever see that movie?
Did I?
Okay.
Did I?
Okay. All right. So
did I?
all right, people watching, if you haven't seen About Last Night, I promise you, do yourself a favor. Go watch About Last Night. It's underrated. It did great. It did fine.
Hilarious.
But that is the first time that you saw Kevin Hart and Regina Hall get completely loose. And they got loose. Let me tell y'all, About Last Night, that's another one of my personal Will Packer favorites. I got favorite children. That's one of my favorites. Come on. So yes, we're working on something right now with Kev, Regina, Chris Rock is involved. We're working on it. We listen, here's the thing. By the time y'all, not you, Kenny, but just general people hear about the movies, we've been working on these things for years, y'all. That's how it works. Yeah. That's how it works. Yeah. We've been behind the scenes grinding for years. So we're working on something that's getting close. I would say it's probably about 8 to 9 months away from shooting, depending on when we start shooting with this thing. And then after that, probably a year from coming out. So we got a little time, but it's gonna be worth the wait.
Okay, and I'm getting the black ball, but I gotta go to the photograph. I have to go to the photograph.
Listen, this is like a conversation. You know what's weird about this time? I said this the other day. It's like, even though we're all separated, we're all in our own homes. Like, I feel closer to people. I don't know if you agree, Kenny, but like, because we are, like, I'm watching people's social media way more than I normally would. Yeah. I'm seeing them in their homes. Y'all are you in my theater right now. I'm in your office right now. Like, I feel like there's a communal sense right now that we didn't have before. Weirdly, even though we're more separated than ever, I feel like we're more connected. Is it just me? Do you agree with that? Or?
Yeah, I 100% agree. But I also think you're starting to see the true versions of people because, I mean, you're obviously seeing some made up versions, but you're seeing the true versions of people because they're by themselves. They're home giving you an offering that you probably wouldn't have normally seen if they didn't have to sit down and focus. But the photograph, Will, I said, my sister and my brother came in town. They drove down from New York. They said New York feels like what's the Will Smith movie with the zombies and shit?
I Am Legend.
Yeah, he said it feel like, so they had to come down here and get some of this ATL love. So we're just sitting there and we're watching the photograph last night, man. And, first of all, congratulations on the film. I think that, it was beautifully shot. I think that the feel of it, the soundtrack, Will, the fucking soundtrack of the photograph. Please go to iTunes, ladies and gentlemen. It is on iTunes. Yeah. Big shout to all the artists. And Ron Glasper, I think I did a lot of the musical stuff.
No question.
Amazing. But talk about that, because I don't think it got its due on the other side.
Yeah, Robert Glasper.
Robert Glasper, that's it.
It is. I give all props to the director and writer of that movie, a sister named Stella McGee, who is Canadian, actually. Yo, the bobbleheads are killing me. I feel like there should be something I'm unprepared. I don't have anything to rattle back at you.
Stay focused. You got $100 million worth of posters. You got $100 million worth of posters in the back.
But I'm envious of your bobblehead. I want my own just to shake it. I'm gonna start doing that at the office. All right. I know some of my people are on here from Will Packer Product. Toy, Shayla, y'all get ready. Diane, get ready, because when y'all do something I don't like, I'm gonna just shake the bobblehead. Will, what do you think about? That's what I'm doing. Yo, the photograph, it's a love story. If y'all haven't seen it, it's out there now. It's available. You can get it, at home, on demand. And it's a love story. It's Issa Rae, it's Lakeith Stanfield. Stella told a story that was near and dear to her and true to her heart. She made her movie, the movie she wanted to make. And part of, like, I have multiple roles as a producer. Sometimes, like on Girls Trip, that was a story inspired by the way I met Heather, the way I met my
Yeah.
wife at Essence Festival, right? So
Yeah.
I was very heavy with the creative on that. I brought in Malcolm Lee early, and I said, listen, this was Essence through my eyes, through my wife's eyes. We want to try to capture that and then take it to another level.
Right.
With the photograph, my job there was to support a filmmaker who happened to be a young Black female filmmaker and support her in bringing her vision to the big screen. And that's what we did. And I'm proud that I can use my position to do that.
Your superpowers.
Yeah, thank you, brother. I appreciate that. Thank you, fam.
You're a special individual. There's no doubt about that. But we finally watched it. I know I saw you the other night. We were at a social distancing members only thing the other night, and I told you I was going to watch it.
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're referring to.
I did.
They already giving us trash in Atlanta. We already getting, Atlanta's off the chain. What up, Melba Moore? What up, Ali Muhammad?
Luda, what up?
What up, Chris? Listen, Luda, it's too much. Luda doing too much in the comments. I don't know what he's talking about. The Godfather movie. He's telling secrets in the comments. Yes, there might have been a social distancing opportunity for us to go celebrate one of our sisters, and perhaps we might have been there together. Yo, the bobbleheads are killing me.
So listen, Will, I want to get to this blackballed.
Yeah,
I had an opportunity yesterday to watch the first 5 or 6. They don't let me watch 5 or 6 yesterday.
Right,
so the other ones,
you have Quibi, you downloaded it, you watched it. Okay.
Yeah.
We should be at 5 now. I see Kelly Smith in the comments. Kelly, are we up to 5? I think 5.
No, I watched. It's 5. The 6th one comes out today. It says
6. Okay.
So,
okay. Cool.
But let me give you my opinion of the whole thing. I was watching clearly when it happened. Right. You're kind of like, wait, did this ignorant? You know what I'm saying? The first thing I thought when I first heard the Donald Sterling thing was like, the girl you're messing with is Spanish and something. Aren't you just the stupidest?
It's Mexican and Black. Crazy.
Exactly. So isn't that the stupidest thing ever? And then as it started to unfold, I never thought that the new commissioner of the NBA would get rid of, now mind you, and in your documentary, Blackballed on Quibi right now, it talks about how David Stern was a little, he liked things his way, right? And so, and not that David Stern, it didn't imply at all that David Stern was a racist. It just said pretty much that there was a boys' club, and Donald Sterling was a part of it.
And he was a capitalist, and there's nothing wrong with all elements of that term. It's how you use your capitalistic philosophy. He was somebody that took the NBA. We're talking about David Stern. He took the NBA from a major American sports league to a global superpower. You got to give that to David Stern. He was the architect of that. Part of what that means, though, is that you work with other capitalists. It means that you give power to these owners, to these billionaires, and you don't take power away from billionaires when you want to be in power very long. That's not the way to make friends with powerful people and to protect your powerful position that they gave you. Is to piss them off. So keep going.
Right.
Let's keep that in mind.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So when I saw the new commissioner, what's his name again?
Adam Silver, the current commissioner.
When Adam Silver banned him for life, I was like, yo. And so the whole time this is happening in real life, in real time, you're not getting all the things that you've unveiled in this documentary. And I think knowing you, that's like why it was so intriguing to you, because we talked about this when it happened, but what was your main goal for getting involved in this? Because the story I'm watching on Quibi and Blackballed is not the story in the news.
Tell it again, brother. That's the thing. That's why I'm encouraging people to watch this joint, because it's a story. First of all, I have a responsibility in my position, right? Like I can do the Kevin Hart, Tiffany Haddish, Regina Hall movies all day. I can do comedies, I can do dramas. But for me to be in a position where my name, my portfolio, my presence can help get a story made, and it's an important story we need to know. This is a story as much about power in America as it is about the NBA, as it is about Donald Sterling and his racist ass. It's about all of that.
Wait. Did you see?
Somebody go to Kenny's house and take the damn bobbleheads. Somebody,
No, don't nobody come to my house.
Where's
You're
Kenny
gonna get
Jr.?
shot. Listen, Will, listen. You
Yes.
in this storytelling, when I saw how they broke down the way that white man was touching his players and how he used to be so like into like showcasing them, hey, bro,
Listen,
I
y'all
went
gotta
to
see this,
fucking.
y'all. He treated his players like trophies, and it was subtle and it was insidious. And the way that it was like a plantation owner. And he looked at this as something that he owned, and the people, the players, as things that he owned. And that was his mentality throughout the whole time of his ownership. Prior to his ownership, it was one of the worst kept secrets ever that he was he was a bad dude. He was an awful, ignorant dude. But you look back and you hear even Chris Paul, like it breaks your heart to hear Chris Paul talk about, and you see the footage where he's touching the players in such a way that it's like, look at my trophy, look at my black buck,
Crazy.
look at my prized possession, and we have footage of him, and he's in front of events where there's all these, rich, mostly white, friends of Donald and supporters and donors, and he trouts out his players, but he trouts them out not as like partners or people to be respected. He pulls Chris Paul up and he says, look at this guy. Isn't he handsome? Doesn't he look good? Like, and it's so absurd, but this happens all the time. So shout out to the director, Mike Jacobs. He did a great job. He brought his perspective to it. It's important that we understand how things go down behind the scenes, especially when folks like us aren't in the room. It's also because, like you said, Adam Silver was new on the job. He was like months on the job.
And that was big because him coming into the NBA, making that type of like decision and then sending that type of message.
Yeah.
He has my respect.
Huge. And you had seen high level people, even owners, get banned for a period of time before. There was a woman named Marge Schott who owned the Reds who said crazy racist stuff about everybody, and they banned her for a period of time. When Adam Silver stood up and said, we're banning this guy for life, that was unheard of. It was an iconic watershed moment in sports and American history. To say that as a white billionaire with an asset that you own, we will take that away from you. You are not bigger than this game, than this sport, and than the fans that watch it. That was huge. So it's the behind the scenes maneuvering that we take a look at, in addition to hearing the voice of the players that you haven't heard before. You can tell I'm proud of this one, man. I'm very, very proud.
Listen, bro, it is very, very well put together. And what I think people don't realize is, and I know everyone has seen The Last Dance by now. If you haven't, you should definitely check out The Last Dance about Michael Jordan. But, these white owners and general managers, and you could just imagine the other stories that are out there. When you see Jerry Krause, that's the GM for the Bulls, right? Right?
That's correct.
He literally, on the dawn of their 6th championship year, set the precedence that the coach was getting fired, that Michael Jordan could go if he wanted to, he basically, and again with Donald Sterling, they were in the second round of the playoffs. So that team was legitimately the only team that could beat the Golden State Warriors.
For the first time ever. For the first time, the Clippers have been irrelevant. This is Doc Rivers just coming over from the Celtics. This is Chris Paul. This is DeAndre Jordan. This is Matt Barnes. This is J.J. Redick. This is Blake Griffin. This was the first time this team was balling like that. They were relevant. And now all of a sudden to have this come out, and Jamel Hill, amazing sister, she has a great quote, and she says that when racist things happen, that's a bobblehead moment. I'm going to give you that. That's a bobblehead moment. When racist things happen, too often it's the victims that are expected to fix it. That's what happened in this situation. Wow. They didn't do anything wrong, but everybody looked at them and said, all right, what y'all going to do? What y'all going to do about this? Because are y'all going to go out and play? You going to go out and play for this white man who calls himself an owner? Are you going to go and take your black athletic talents out there and perform for him? Are you gonna burn down the arena and say you'll never play again? What are y'all gonna do? And it was pressure. And Chris has a great quote in the doc. where he says that he was getting called from political leaders, other players around the league, but it was his sons, it was his kids. And he had to look them in the eyes, and they wanted to know what he was going to do. And that was really the thing that brought this home and made it personal. He knew he had to make the right decision and show how you stand up to adversity.
Man, listen, man. One thing about the photograph, real quick, you just jogged my memory. The blackness of film making, and the importance of it looking black, feeling black, sounding black. I jumped past the Black Ball documentary that's now on Quibi. Make sure you all download the Quibi app and watch it. But I jumped past that to ask you, how important is it now for you, Will, to not only embrace stories like the one in Black Ball, which is crucial for athletes. We know our black and brown babies, they are, focused on the opportunities that sports allow, right? We are, at a point in our career now, in our careers now, we don't really have to do things we really don't want to do. We could is your passion going forward to make sure these stories are told in the right way and amplified so that we know what's going on behind the scenes?
That's a very important part of it. No question. No question. When I look at where I am now, I'm very happy with what I've been able to do with my career. I'm not content or satisfied. I'm certainly not done, but that's me. That's in my nature. I'll never really truly be content, but I'm proud of what I've been able to do. A big part of what I want to do going forward is tell stories that otherwise wouldn't get told, that couldn't get told. And so you'll see more docs coming out of me. You'll see me hiring, the next generation of young up and coming, Will Packers, black and minorities, male and female. That's a big part of what I want to do. You're going to see me tell stories that, celebrate blackness in a way you haven't seen. And you're going to see me tell stories and you're going to go, wait, Will did that? Because that's not a black story. He did, who gave him permission to do that? You're going to see that. If it's good content, if it's an important story, that's the type of thing I want to put my name on. And by the way, it doesn't all have to be weighty. It doesn't all have to have some big social message or mission. It can be something for entertainment, something to take your mind away from, the world, because entertainment should do that. But when it can do that and it can teach you something, then that's the best. That's the best
I love
of
that.
all worlds.
I love that. That was an excellent answer. You are a professional. Lastly, before I go, this is a must for me. As I have a 19-year-old that will be voting for the first time in the 2020 election.
Same here.
Exactly, and that's why I'm bringing this up.
18-year-old, first time voting.
Yeah, you 18, I'm 19,
my son, yep.
And we have local, state, and federal elections happening, and and I don't want to make it heavy, but it is heavy because of what's going on. Donald Trump today, tweeted some other dumb shit. Yesterday it was Michigan. If you continue to send absentee ballots out, I'm going to stop your funding. This motherfucker is on steroids right now. And I'm charging my people not only to vote for Biden because Trump has to go, but at the same time, because there's only two options. See, the problem I have with a lot of the rhetoric that some of us are spewing is that there are options. There's no option. There's an option to get somebody in, now that you're woke, now that you understand politics, now that you are concerned and it, it directly affects you and your family. When you get somebody in office, then you can go crazy. But there are local and state things that you could do now to kind of combat the 200 judges that Donald Trump has in office, the 2 Supreme Court judges that he has. And if he wins, he's going to get another, maybe 2, and it's going to even take us further generationally into trying to fix. So how do you feel? That was a lot. I'm light-skinned, forgive me. But how do you feel?
Your bobblehead is a little dark. Don't think I don't know that. That's your dream. Your dream is to be a little bit darker than you are. You think I didn't notice that?
I'm blue-black on the inside. I'm blue-black on the inside.
You do. You got dark-skin energy. I'll give you that.
But how do you feel about that?
Listen, you said it. If what Trump wants is for people on the other side of him to find issues with Biden, to talk about false equivalencies with he and Biden. He needs division, right? When you look at him saying, okay, I got to stop this absentee and mail ballot situation, it's because power seeds nothing without demand. And so he needs us to sit back and say, ooh, I don't know if I'm a vote unless, you know, certain things happen. I don't know if is Biden better than Trump. Anything is better than Trump, period. And here's the thing. When he tweeted Obamagate, Obama just tweeted one word, vote, period. Here's the thing.
No.
Everybody,
Time out. Wait, time out. You Obama, he did that, but then he came back. And when it's like Barack in that last tweet he had, Will, when he was like, you know, y'all think y'all doing something, but y'all don't know how to lead. Whatever he said,
yes.
It was like him saying, "You bitch ass motherfuckers, I'm gonna fry you at the stake."
Listen, let me tell you something. If it has never been more true than right now that you either vote or die. We're literally dying by decisions because of decisions that people who have been voted in have made. Not just the occupant of 1600 Pennsylvania Ave, governors. Governors have so much power.
Yo, Kemp is on fire. What is Kemp doing?
Kemp has the power to open a state, to close a state. He has the power to appoint a special prosecutor in the Ahmaud Arbery case. He has the power to fire those folks down at Griffin who said that it wasn't murder the first time and you know, recuse themselves after saying that, you know, Ahmaud Arbery deserved what he got. Governors have power. So my point in all of this is just that we have to understand that right now is one of the most crucial times in our history. We're literally in the middle of a global pandemic that's killing us more than anybody else. If you don't see the reason to go out and vote right now.
Will, I just found out in my home state of Washington, D.C., it's in the 80 percentile, Black and brown people dying from COVID in the district. And I just saw some other information, and it's in the 80% or high 70s. But then the other thing I found out in Atlanta, Georgia, the South Side is being annihilated with this virus.
Decimated.
And I want to say this to my Black and brown people. It's health. The reason why this is affecting Black and brown people the most is because of that extra butter and that extra salt. And that all this shit we do to ourselves, we have to wake up, guys. You know, I'm just floored by. I am floored by what's happening because it looks like somebody's trying to kill us.
Listen, what do you mean looks like? There is no looks like. We're intelligent enough to know and see what's happening. You know what I'm saying? Let's stop falling for the okie doke. At the end of the day, we're not asking people, and this is us as a community. Everybody that's watching this live, whether you watch from the beginning or just popped in, you take nothing else, take this, okay? At the end of the day, I'm not asking you to risk your life. I'm not asking you to go across a picket line to fight with dogs and water hoses. I'm asking you to go and use your constitutional God-given right to go and vote, to go into a booth. If they say you can't mail it in, show your ass up at the polling place, okay? Go in there, wear your mask and your gloves, and push the button. That's what I'm asking you to do. Now, generations before you, they did have to fight with dogs. They couldn't vote. They didn't have the right. You got the right. All you got to do is go out and use it, and we don't. As absurd as it is, we still don't go out and do that. That's all I'm asking you to do. Get out of your house, get off your ass, go in there and push a button to tell this guy and other people like him that want you dead, you're not going for it. I'm not asking you to go and pick up a gun and go stand on the front lines. I'm not asking you to do any of that. I'm just asking you to vote. That's it. That's all Obama's asking you to do. That's all any of us are asking you to do, period. But there is no other option. There is no, well, maybe, well, I might know. We got to get this guy out. Our lives are at risk. Get off your ass and go vote. That's it. That's all we're asking. As simple as that is. Some of us still won't do it. And as much as I love us, we won't do it. And I'm talking to Black people. You know, I know we say Black and brown. I'm talking to Black right now. A lot of us still won't do it, unfortunately. But that's all I'm asking you. Get off your ass and go and vote. Just exercise your God-given right. They're depending on you not to do it. They want you not to do it.
Well, I want to say this, man. You know how, you know, you're my fourth favorite Aries ever. Because you know the long line of Aries.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm
but I
proud to
want to
be
speak
fourth.
this.
No, your top
Yeah,
3 is amazing.
yeah, you're a hell of a human, man. But I wish this for you, and I don't even know if this is in your trajectory. And I got a call from Jamie Foxx after. He was saying how, if you're running for political office, I want to back you. I want to support you. Fox, I'm not a politician. I'm a convicted felon. They won't allow it. He said, we can fix that. I was like, oh, shit. So I'm saying to you, that was a little joke, but it was the truth. I'm saying to you, you have those superpowers, Will.
You broke
You
up, but I
have,
heard. I know you're a felon.
yeah. Okay, you didn't have to repeat it. It sounded worse when you said it. But you have an innate superpower. You have an innate
I
superpower.
would vote for
Will.
you, Kenny, for the record,
Yeah,
just so you know.
I know. But you have an innate superpower, Will, and it transcends through your work. The people that you deal with on a daily basis, from employees to the janitor, from the celebrities, everyone loves you. And it's because of the environment you create for your people. I wish for you some type of politics, because the thing I don't like about politics are the divisiveness and the lies. We need truth tellers. Not only are you a truth teller in your stories and your commitment to making television or films with important stories, you live this. You do this daily. So I want to speak that onto you. I want to speak that into in your spirit. What you just gave TKBS just now is a blessing, and I hope they receive that in the way that they should. But you're a superhero, bro, and we appreciate you.
My brother, I love you. Thank you for allowing me to come on your platform and to use your platform the way that you're using it. I'm watching. A lot of people are watching. You're doing an amazing job, brother. Onward. Onward to us. Onward and upward, my brother. Can we get the Trick Daddy on the way out? How does that work? Can we do the Trick Daddy to the bobbleheads? Or is
All right, get that goddamn bobblehead.
Can I get it?
Yeah, hold on. We can do whatever you want.
I want the Trick Daddy on the way out.
Don't do that to yourself, Lamar. Talk about who is me. Girl, you know that. Better represent like me. Who sex like me? Who make the hits like me? Girl, you know that. Who do the things that I do?
Damn, you stand up. Let's go.
Love you, boy.
I love you, my guy. Later, y'all. Thank you, KB.
Love you, boy. Man, you know nothing. Will Packer, the legend. He's a real superhero, y'all. Support him in everything he does. Go download Quibi right now. Download Quibi. Watch Blackball 1 through 5. I know it's available because I watched it. And I think 6 through 12 comes today. So download Quibi. Enjoy. Listen, tomorrow, if you love 90s R&B, if you love 90s R&B, I need you to shake your heads like this. If you love 90s R&B, I need you to tune in tomorrow. It's going to be a hell of an experience. And guess what? You can join the conversation. I love y'all. Be safe. Peace.